Why, hello there! So I was doing an Instagram live video the other day, and one of my followers named Oso Coco, shout out to you girl, she mentioned that she really enjoyed listening to my voice as I spoke, so I figured that maybe I could do some kind of a YouTube video where I just chat and talk with you guys. I did something like that a while ago, I think it was last year, so why not do it again? I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get right into it. So I've been trying to figure out what to do with my life lately because I do enjoy my job. I work as a graphic designer for a newspaper, and I spend my days kind of laying out the newspapers, putting in the stories and photos, and designing the front covers. I didn't go to school specifically for newspaper layout and design, but I did go to school for graphic design. I have my bachelor's in that, and I've always enjoyed playing around in the computer and just spending my whole day in front of the computer, because even when I'm not at work, when I'm at home, I'm also on my computer because I'm editing my YouTube videos, I'm editing things for Instagram, I'm photoshopping this, doing something in iMovie or After Effects. Fun fact, I actually just learned how to make crazy spooky demon eyes or zombie eyes in After Effects, so I'm really excited about that because I can introduce a kind of new element to my videos. So that was really exciting. I'm so happy that I learned how to do that. And it was a lot easier and faster than I expected too, because I've had After Effects, the program, for a while. I have the whole Adobe suite. I'm so thankful my brother got it for me as a gift. But I never used it because I felt like it would be too complicated. I just didn't have the time. I didn't want to invest time in learning how to do it. But this was something that I saw because I don't have any really big sclera lenses, which would make my eyes entirely black or white. So I figured that I would try to figure out how to edit them. So I did, and I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and that was all it took, which was really, really exciting. But in terms of trying to figure out what to do with my life, I'm trying to decide if I want to go further in graphic design and keep doing my job that I'm doing at the newspaper and then maybe look to something else in the future, or if I should pursue something in makeup or the cosmetics industry, because I've had a lot of people tell me that I do very well in makeup and cosmetics, which I appreciate, which is very nice of them. But that's something that I know will take a toll on my life because I've talked to a lot of makeup artists, and especially V. Neal. I haven't talked to her, but I've heard her say in interviews that if you are a makeup artist full-time, it completely takes over your life. You don't have any availability because if someone needs you for a job, say like in a photo shoot or something like that, if you say no or if you call out sick, then they won't call you again. That's it. They'll just find someone else because it's a really cutthroat industry. It's really, you gotta make it or break it kind of a thing. And I'm not sure I would enjoy that. I love doing makeup. It's really fun. I've done makeup on a couple of people. I actually just did a shoot in New York City, which was really fun, for a brand called Kilame. And I got to work on a model who walked like all the biggest runways in the world. She was telling me all her stories, and it was really cool to hear her stories. But, it sounds like being a makeup artist full-time is a really stressful job, and that's not something that I think that I would be comfortable with being my career, because I love doing makeup so much. It's like my favorite hobby, and I enjoy it. It's therapeutic when I do it on my own, just, doing my own face. I would never want that to become something that I hated or something that felt like a job to me, if that makes sense. I'd never want to stop loving it. So that's why I kind of hesitate to make that my full-time job. But a friend of mine was just saying that she's in school for cosmetology right now, I think. And she was telling me that there's this cosmetology class that's being taught by a local college, and it's from 6 to 10 p.m. at night. And I think you get your certificate with it, which you need in the state of New York, which is where I live, because without a cosmetology license, I can't practice as a makeup artist. So that's another reason why I haven't really gone into doing more makeup artistry things, because I'm technically not supposed to be practicing it without my cosmetology license in the state of New York. If I was in Texas, I could, because they don't have any restrictions like that down there. But I am not in Texas, I'm in New York. And while I would love to just go and learn just for the fun of it, I feel like I shouldn't do that because $2,000 is a lot of money, and I feel like I should have something, lined up or do something with that knowledge and with the certificate instead of just having it just for the heck of it, if that makes sense. I'm not used to talking this much, so I've got to drink some water. For the most part, in real life, I'm very quiet. Once I get to know you better, then I kind of open up and talk a lot more, but for the most part, I keep to myself. I like to listen to other people's conversations, not in a nosy way, but just kind of like, oh yeah, you guys talk, and I will, nod and smile. But everything is going really well for me in life so far. I'm really happy to be where I am, and just everything is going really well. It's funny because I always feel paranoid where I can't say that things are going well because then something will go wrong. But so far everything's been going very well and nothing bad has happened, thank goodness. So I'm really lucky, I'm very happy. But I know that a lot of people around me aren't necessarily as happy as I am, and I always kind of want to dial it down a bit because I don't want to rub it in their face how happy I am, if that makes sense. I feel like it would be really insensitive and not, something that would warm people to me if I did that. But thinking about it, I don't really get to tell a lot of people what I do on a daily basis. I mean, the only people that I talk to consistently every day are my parents and my boyfriend. Like, I pretty much spend my days, either doing lip art or Instagram or working or hanging out with my boyfriend or spending time with my parents. I don't really lead a very exciting life. I'm very much in love with my work and doing things creatively. It's definitely a great form of self-expression for me. I really enjoy it. I don't really have a lot of people that I can share that with, unfortunately. So it kind of stinks. That's the thing I miss about college, is that when I was in college, I had this whole group of people who were all artists. We could all bounce ideas off of each other, and we could all talk about things, and we would all create kind of together in kind of like a collective group, which was nice. And now that I'm out of college, I don't have that anymore. It's just me, and the only people that I ask for opinions are, either on Instagram I ask people, or I ask my boyfriend what he thinks of something. But speaking of my boyfriend, I made him do a video for me on my channel here. It's still up. It's called My Friend Does My Makeup, and I kind of friend zoned him. But obviously he escaped the friend zone because he's my boyfriend now. And I'm just so happy that he's in my life. I'm really thankful, to be honest. It's been a long time since I felt so comfortable with someone. The reason I friend zoned him in the first place was my last relationship, which ended probably 4 years ago now, ended fairly badly for me because he broke up with me. And I did not expect it to take such a toll on me the way that it did because I didn't see it coming. I figured that, he and I would be together forever, nothing would go wrong, everything was so great because he was an artist like myself. We were in school together and we talked about moving in together, the whole 9 yards. So I figured I was set, this is it, this is my dream guy, we're gonna get married, live together happily ever after. But that was not the case, because he moved away to school. He wanted to do more schooling because he changed majors. He texted me one day saying, I can't do this anymore, etc. Basically breaking up with me over text, and I was crushed. I was so upset. I ended up Skyping him for a good hour, just kind of like trying to talk it through with him. But basically I was trying to convince him to stay together, which was not a good idea because he'd already made up his mind. But everything that happened after that, we still talked for a couple of months, and I think that made it worse, to be honest. Like, I know so many people have had it much, much worse. I've never been cheated on, thank goodness. But that whole experience, for some reason, I just sunk into the deepest depression I've been in since high school, and I started drinking. It was a terrible time. And it wasn't just that he broke up with me, not to sound dramatic, but it was more the fact that I put my trust in him and I felt like, oh, we're on the same page. Like, we both feel the same way about each other, pretty much. But to find out that that wasn't true and that, all of a sudden, like, everything could be taken away from me was kind of a shock, and so that made me kind of spiral down into a depression for a long time. I did not handle it well. I started to go out and drink a lot, which I had never done before. I'm very much a lightweight, so usually 1 or 2 drinks is enough to do me in. So I was going out drinking a lot. I went out to bars a lot with friends. I would drink at home alone. And it was just, I was a mess. It was not good. As time went on, though, things got better. I just kind of started to come to terms with it. The fact that he was not gonna come back. It was over. That's it. We're done. And then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna start looking into dating and seeing other people because obviously the drinking wasn't helping. So I decided to go and try to meet other people to get my mind off of him, which I did. So the first app that I downloaded was Tinder. And I know Tinder has had kind of a iffy reputation, but it actually worked out really well for me personally. I know other people have had less luck with it than I have. But that's actually how I met my current boyfriend, Jesse. I met him on Tinder. And he was not the first person I met off of Tinder. I had met a couple of other guys and just gone on some, local dates, meet them in a public place, etc. And what intrigued me about him was that he had long hair, he had tattoos, he had piercings, and he was playing a guitar in one of the photos on his profile. So I was like, this guy looks right up my alley. So I messaged him, he messaged me back. And the rest is kind of history. I mean, our first date, so to speak, was almost 3 years ago now, I think. And he's just made me really happy, and I'm really happy to be with him, and he's such a great guy. But for the next year and a half after we had our first date, I kind of kept him in the friend zone because I wasn't ready to get my heart broken again. I was still really torn up from my last relationship, and I was not ready to trust anyone again. But he kind of just showed me over the course of the next 3 years that he was, he was a man of his word. He wasn't going to try to break my heart. And it was so refreshing. And he has just been such a great guy. And I really appreciate him. So I'm really happy. And I really hope that everyone can find someone like that because he's a great guy. And I'm so lucky to have him. But that's another thing is that a lot of my friends are single. And I feel like I can't talk to them about Jesse as much as I would like because I don't want to rub it in their faces that I have someone and they don't, if that makes sense. So the only people I really talk to about him are my mom and some of my friends in the city. My voice is getting a little strained because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a talkative person normally, so I'm not used to speaking so much. I love my little jack-o'-lantern mug. My mom got him for me. I'm so glad that my mom is so supportive of my goth lifestyle because my dad is still kind of hesitant about it. Whenever he sees me looking like this now, he just says I look like Elvira, which is much better than what he used to say. He used to say stuff like, oh, you're really scary, you look freaky, don't you care about what other people are gonna think? Stuff like that, which I kind of understand because he came from an older generation. He's about 5 years older than my mom. So he was, back in the day, you don't do that, you don't dress to, I guess, attract attention to yourself. But he's learned that I don't really care what other people think about me, which is nice. So he's stopped kind of telling me to, oh, you're gonna wear that out? Oh my goodness, what are you doing? But I appreciate that he's kind of tried to dial it back a bit in terms of him commenting on my outfits, which is nice. Another thing, I don't know how long this has gone on for, but another thing that just came into my mind is that it's been almost exactly a year since my horse passed away. I don't know if I've talked about this on YouTube. I remember in one of my other videos where I was talking, I mentioned that one of my worst fears was losing my horse. And it happened. I mean, it was going to happen eventually because horses and animals always, get old and pass away. But it's been over a year now, and I actually just had a riding lesson with my mom today, which was really great. It was the first time I'd ridden since he died. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel, if I was going to be all emotional, but I did really well. I didn't cry. And it was really great just spending time with my mom riding horses like we used to, because she used to have a horse too, but her horse passed away long before mine did. So it was just a really nice experience, and I love doing things with my mom, and I'm really close with my parents, so I really enjoy spending time with them. But yeah, I think my voice is about to give out. I feel really scratchy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video where I just kind of rambled on about my life and things that have happened. If you'd like me to do more of these videos, just let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!